In a significant development, the Trump administration has clarified exemptions to the $100,000 $100,000 that is H-1B visa fee introduced via a presidential proclamation in September. The United States Citizenship and Immigration Services USCIS said in a statement, on September 19, 2025, the president issued a proclamation restriction on entry of certain non-immigrant workers, an important initial step to reform the H-1B non-immigrant visa program. Under the proclamation, certain H-1B petitions filed at or after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on September 21, 2025 must be accompanied by an additional $100,000 fee or a payment as a condition for eligibility. So who is subject to the $100,000 payment? The proclamation applies to new H-1B petitions filed at or after 12:01 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on September 21, 2025 on behalf of the beneficiaries who are outside the United States and do not have a valid H-1B visa. Well, DD India correspondent Saurav Shukla is now joining us from Washington, D.C. Saurav, why is this new USCIS notification on H-1B, why is it so significant?
Well, Mark, it is significant because one, it directly impacts almost 400,000 Indian students who are currently studying in the US. And earlier there was, a fear that they may have to go back after completing their studies. But now with this proclamation, they can actually convert from the F1 visa, which is a student visa, to a H-1B if they get into a lottery, which is a big positive development. That's one. Secondly, it also impacts almost 300,000 Indians on H-1B who are tech professionals, who are also outstanding professionals working for the large US and companies here. And third thing, it also gives a leeway to the US Homeland Secretary, to decide and give exemptions to certain companies from paying these fees. So that means if it's in the US national interest. So that also impacts, some of the Indian nationals, because a lot of them are brought in by top US companies for critical work here. And Indian Americans are the best and brightest in this country who are actually not only, working to promote the US economy, but the relationship between the US and India as well. And I think this is a big positive step and will allay a lot of fears mongering which was going on about this $100,000 H-1B professionals. And also, one more thing, it impacts doctors and nurses as well. A significant chunk from there comes from India as well. So I think it's a very positive move.
So you did mention that it's impacting Indian students, it's impacting medical professionals and those professionals in the United States. What about the people who want to move to the US for H-1B visas? What about them?
So, there is in the proclamation, they have left a window open where if the Secretary of Homeland Security, which is the Home Ministry equivalent in the US, can decide that in the US national interest, they can be exempted, the exemptions can be given. So that window also allows you to exempt certain categories like doctors and nurses, because there was a lot of outcry, a lot of hospitals here in the US, medical institutions, even academic institutions had petitioned the White House and the president and the USCIS that, this 100,000 fee was unfair. And that's the reason why they found a middle ground solution. And I think it will impact Indians across the spectrum, and it's a good news. Also, it helps the US because they realize that Indian professionals, whether they're Indian students, whether Indian doctors, nurses, they are some of the best and the brightest across the globe. And if they have to maintain the strategic edge that the US wants to maintain in any field, these professionals are pivotal to that. And that's the reason why this proclamation should be welcomed as a good news for all the Indian professionals and students and doctors here in the US, and also some of them who are applying.
Saurav Shukla from Washington, D.C. Thanks very much for joining us with those